Good morning all, I am Dr. Gio. Today we will see the specimen of uterus. This is a specimen of uterus. You can see this is the upper part. You can see the attachment of fallopian tube or uterine tube. These are the ovaries. These are the ovaries on both sides. These are the fallopian tubes or uterine tubes. This point where the fallopian tubes gets attached to the uterus is called as a supralateral angle or cornu. The area above the attachment of this fallopian tubes, the area above the cornu, that is the fundus. That is the fundus of the uterus. So basically the uterus has three parts: fundus, a body, and cervix. Body is the part of the uterus which extends from the fundus to the isthmus. So how do we identify isthmus? Isthmus is a constriction in between the body and the cervix of the uterus. So here you can see the constriction. It has come like this. There is a constriction. So you can see the starting of vagina here, vaginal canal. So this part of cervix which is inside the vagina is called as the vaginal part of the cervix. So this is the vaginal part of the cervix. You can see the external os here. External os. This external os is the foramen through which the cervix and the vaginal canal communicates. The cervix, the part of the cervix which is above the vaginal canal is called as the supravaginal part. Thus the cervix has two parts, supravaginal and vaginal parts. Now coming to the surfaces of body of uterus. It has an anterior surface or the vesical surface and a posterior surface or the intestinal surface. The anterior or vesical surface is flat, directed downwards and forwards, and is covered with peritoneum. We can see the peritoneum here. This is a peritoneum covering the uterus. You can see the peritoneum is reflected onto the, so this part, it reaches up to the isthmus and it will get reflected onto the urinary bladder in the anterior aspect. The posterior or the intestinal surface is convex and directed upwards and backwards and is covered with peritoneum which extends up to the posterior fornix of vagina. There from the peritoneum is reflected to the rectum. So the area between the peritoneal reflection from the posterior surface of the uterus to the rectum, that area is called as the pouch of Douglas or the recto-uterine pouch. The posterior surface is related to sigmoid colon and the intestine. You will see it better in the sagittal section. Each lateral border is rounded and non-peritoneal for the attachment of the broad ligament. And this border is related to the tortuous uterine vessels. The lateral anchors or cornu of the uterus project outwards from the junction of fundus and the body. So this is the lateral angles or the cornu. Each angle presents the attachments of three structures: the uterine tube, which is the uppermost structure piercing the musculature of uterus, the proximal part of the round ligament of uterus below and in front of the tube, and ligament of ovary. Ligament of ovary below and behind the tube. Here we can see the sagittal section of a female pelvis. This is the sacrum and the coccyx. You can see the rectum. This is the rectum. You can see the uterus. You can see the bladder. This is the pubic symphysis. As you can see, in the sagittal section, the uterine cavity is slit-like. It is covered by a mucous membrane called as the endometrium. This, what you can see, is the myometrium. Coming to the position of uterus. Normally, the uterus lies in anteversion and anteflexion. Anteversion is the forward angle between the axis of the cervix and that of the vagina. Axis of the cervix and the axis of the vagina, that is 90 degree. So this angle here, it is 90 degree, that is the anteversion. Okay. Now coming to anteflexion. Anteflexion is a forward angle between the body and the cervix at the isthmus. So isthmus is this part where the body is having a constriction. Below that you can see the cervix, the part inside the vaginal canal. The part inside the vaginal canal is the vaginal part, and the part above that is the supravaginal part of the cervix. So this anteflexion is the angle between the axis of the body with that of the cervix at the isthmus. It is approximately 125 degree. Coming to the ligaments of the uterus. So the ligaments can be divided into true ligaments and the false ligaments. The true ligaments are fibromuscular bands and false ligaments are peritoneal folds. There are 8 true ligaments and 6 false ligaments. This is the anterior aspect. This is the pubic symphysis. You can see the urinary bladder. This is the uterus and this is the rectum. You can see this is the lateral border of the uterus. So anteriorly and in front of the fallopian tube. So this is the fallopian tube, this is the ovary. Anterior and in front of the fallopian tube, attached to the cornu, you can see the round ligament. This round ligament is about 10 to 12 centimeter long. It is attached proximally to the lateral angle of the uterus or the cornu. Passes forwards and laterally through the broad ligament. You can see the broad ligament here. Through the broad ligament. It will cross the structures of the lateral pelvic wall, enters the deep inguinal ring, and finally gets inserted to the subcutaneous tissue of the labium majus. Functionally, it pulls the fundus forwards and maintains the anteversion and anteflexion of the uterus. So you can see it is coming like this through the broad ligament and it is going towards the lateral pelvic wall. Coming to the transverse cervical ligaments or McEnroth's ligament. It extends laterally from the cervico-vaginal junction. So when I move that ligament, you can see cervico-vaginal junction moving. And it gets inserted to the fascia covering the levator ani. This ligament will keep the cervix in position and prevents the downward displacement of uterus through vagina. Hence, it is known as the cardinal ligament of the uterus. Above, it is related to the ureter and the uterine artery. Now coming to the uterosacral ligament. To know the uterosacral ligament, you have to know the recto-uterine fold. So this is the rectum, this is the uterus, this is the recto-uterine fold, this is the recto-vaginal part of it. Okay. So the uterosacral ligament extends from the cervix to the third sacral vertebra on each side of the rectum under cover of recto-uterine fold of peritoneum. So this is the recto-uterine fold of peritoneum. So here we can see the uterosacral ligament. This is the uterosacral ligament. This is the uterosacral ligament. Once again, so this is the recto-uterine fold. Thus, here you can see the uterosacral ligament. It is under the cover of, so you have to know that this the uterosacral ligament is under the cover of recto-uterine fold of peritoneum. It is under cover of the recto-uterine fold of peritoneum. Then there is one more true ligament, that is a pubocervical ligament. It is a thin, they are a pair of thin fibrous bands which extends from the cervix to the pubic bones along the infralateral surface of the bladder. You can't see it here, but this is where it should be coming. Coming to the false ligaments, they are the utero-vesical fold, recto-vaginal fold, a pair of recto-uterine folds. So, utero-vesical fold is also called as anterior false ligament. It is formed by the reflection of peritoneum from the, so this is a bladder, this is the anterior surface of the uterus. So, it is a reflection of peritoneum from the anterior surface of body of uterus to the upper surface of the urinary bladder at the level of the isthmus. So, in the anterior surface of the body of uterus, you can see the peritoneal reflection only up to the level of the isthmus. Coming to the recto-vaginal fold or the posterior false ligament, it is formed by the peritoneal reflection from the posterior fornix of the vagina to the rectum. This fold forms the floor of the pouch of Douglas. This part. This forms the floor of the pouch of Douglas. Then there is a pair of recto-uterine fold. It extends between the cervix and the rectum. It contains a uterosacral ligament and forms the lateral boundary of the pouch of Douglas. The recto-uterine pouch of Douglas is the most dependent part of the pelvic peritoneal cavity in female. So we can see the boundaries of the pouch of Douglas. In front, there is supravaginal part of the cervix. This is a vaginal canal. The part of cervix inside the vaginal canal is a vaginal part. The part above that from the isthmus. So this is the isthmus up to the vaginal part. From the isthmus up to the vaginal part. That is the supravaginal part. So this supravaginal part of cervix and the posterior fornix of the vagina will form the anterior boundary. Behind we have the middle 1/3 of the rectum. On each side we will have the recto-uterine fold, and on the floor or the bottom you have the recto-vaginal fold. The applied importance of this pouch is that if there is any collection of pus or blood in the pouch of Douglas, it can be removed by an incision through the posterior fornix of vagina. It is called as posterior colpotomy without opening the anterior abdominal wall. The part of the vaginal cavity which encircles the vaginal part of the cervix is known as the vaginal fornix. So, this is the vaginal cavity. This is the vaginal part of the cervix. This is the vaginal part of the cervix. So, this part of the vaginal cavity which encircles the vaginal part of cervix is called as the fornix. For descriptive purposes, we can say that there is this is the anterior surface of the uterus. So, this is the anterior fornix. This is the posterior fornix. This is the left lateral fornix. This is the right lateral fornix. It is through the posterior fornix we will access the rectouterine pouch of Douglas in case of collection of pus or blood in that fold. This is a diagram showing a median section through the female pelvis. It is figure 17.5 from Cunningham. So you can see the urinary bladder, you can see the uterus, you can see the rectum. The pouch between the uterus and the rectum is the rectouterine pouch. Between the urinary bladder and the uterus is the vesicouterine pouch. Here you can see the posterior fornix. Now coming to the broad ligament. There is a pair of broad ligaments. So each ligament is a broad fold of peritoneum consisting of two layers extending from the lateral border of the uterus. This is the lateral border of the uterus. Lateral border of the uterus to the lateral pelvic wall. You can see it better in this specimen. This is the anterior surface, this is the posterior surface of the uterus. This is the posterior surface. You can see the peritoneal reflection. In the anterior surface, it is coming only up to the isthmus, so this is the anterior surface. You can see the broad ligament here. From the lateral border, it is going like this. Broad ligament. So, both broad ligaments, that is the broad ligaments on the each side and uterus forms a transverse partition which divides the pelvic cavity into an anterior compartment with bladder as its content and posterior compartment with rectum as its content. Coming to the contents of the broad ligament, the uterine tube except the intramural part. Intramural part is the part inside the uterus once it enters the cornu. That part of the fallopian tube or the uterine tube is the intramural part. So, the uterine tube except the intramural part, proximal part of the round ligament of the uterus which is below and in front of the fallopian tube, ligament of ovary. Ligament of ovary. This is the ovary, ligament of ovary below and behind the tube. Then there are the ovarian vessels, the uterine vessels, tubules and duct of epiphoron, tubules of paraophoron, lymphatics and sometimes accessory suprarenal tissue. The ureters as a rule is not a content of broad ligament unless they are pushed by growing tumors. Now coming to the blood supply of uterus. The uterus is supplied by uterine artery and ovarian artery. The uterine artery is a branch from the internal iliac artery. So this is the common iliac artery. This is the external iliac. This is the internal iliac. This is the internal iliac. This is the anterior division. This is the posterior division. So you can see this is a broad ligament attached to the lateral border of the uterus. So this is the uterine artery. Uterine artery from the anterior division of internal iliac artery. You can see it is very tortuous. The ovarian artery is a branch from the aorta.